Hello, friends, and welcome to season 4. I can't even believe it's season 4 already of the Living to Thrive with Cancer podcast. I am so excited to be able to share with you this new season and the great things that I have planned for you. And I'm just so grateful and privileged that I can share this podcast with you, whether you are living with a cancer diagnosis, are immediately in treatment, or if you are past treatment and are trying to reclaim your life, you are in the right place. If you could have told me 10 years ago that I would be hosting a podcast, I would have laughed. And if you had told me 10 years ago that it would be about living with cancer, I'm not really sure how I would have responded actually. But here we are, and it is great to be back. So, in today's episode, I want to take a little bit of time to reintroduce myself and why I'm hosting this podcast. I want to take a look at where we're headed in the podcast this year, my story and how it relates to you, and my lessons that I'm sharing with you over the season and from previous seasons. So, if you are a new listener, I'm so happy that you are here. I want to welcome you to the podcast. I am Catherine White, a cancer thriver, using my stories and experience with stage 4 colon cancer to guide you through your walk with cancer. And as a holistic cancer coach, I want to help support you through creating a health building lifestyle, managing your stress, and help you to navigate the day in and day out stuff that comes with living with cancer. If you find what you've learned here today to be helpful, please share it with other people that you know could benefit from this episode. Sharing helps me to support more people living with cancer and to help them move from survivor to thriver. So go ahead and subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening, follow it on YouTube, and I would love for you to head to the show notes and get your name on my weekly email list so that you can follow my path to thriving with cancer and how I am using what I've learned to support you in your walk with cancer and towards your goal of becoming a cancer thriver too. And when you sign up, I'm going to send you a free download gift because I think it's really important for me to share with you the things that I have that are useful to you. So, where are we headed in the podcast this year? This season, I'm excited to be hosting some really amazing guests. I have some guests that are cancer survivors themselves, as well as some cancer coaches. And I'm going to continue to share with you what I've learned along the way with my own walk with cancer. But I really felt like it would be beneficial to you, the listener, and would add great value to the podcast and what it is designed to do to have other people come on and share with you. Because all of this is to support you. And I want to talk about, as I said, my story and how it relates to you. So, heading into season 4, I am sitting in deep gratitude for being here with you. As many of you know, I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer in early 2015 when I was only 43 years old. That means I'm coming up on my 10-year Thriverversary. I am so excited. I had a great call with my oncologist a few weeks ago, and we talked about, first of all, that my recent scans are all clear, which is a huge win always. And then we talked about how I am approaching 10 years since my diagnosis. And he immediately said that I have to have a big celebration, and I already in my mind have ideas of what I want to do to celebrate this amazing, spectacular, I don't even know, unheard of almost, or unthought of possibility. Because, when they give you your diagnosis, sometimes they don't always tell you that you can get to 10 years. But here I am, and I plan on living it up for that. So, back to my oncologist for a second. He is really such a great person, and I'm really grateful for him and all of the other members of my medical and holistic care teams. And I'm just going to pause for a moment here and really reflect on how grateful I am for my oncologist. Because as I'm working with a variety of clients, I'm seeing that all care is not the same as the care that I have been so fortunate to receive, that other people are struggling with their relationships with their doctors and are really wanting to have a doctor who has the same type of relationship that I've been able to have, like really open and honest, and an oncologist who is really on top of things and really does everything to make sure that I and his other patients get exactly what they need. And I guess I just assumed that it was like that for everyone. But what I'm hearing from my clients is that it's not like that for everyone, that other people have a different experience. And so I really, really am grateful that I was given the oncologist that I have. And I'm grateful for him in my life. I talk about him as being like my security blanket almost. Like I don't want to have to talk to him, but talking to him gives me comfort because I know that he still has my back and he's still taking care of me and he's still ensuring that I'm getting the care that I actually don't need right now, which is also amazing. So, all of this relates to you, and that's why I'm doing the podcast. Like, as a cancer thriver, I believe that you can be here too. Wherever you are in your story, you can learn to thrive with cancer. And everybody's story is going to be different. It's not the same version. Cancer is not a cookie cutter thing. It's not a cookie cutter diagnosis. And I think it's important, as we move through the podcast and as you move through your life with cancer, to remember that it's important. And I'm actually going to do a podcast episode on this, to not compare yourself to other people and to their medical care and to how their cancer story is going. So I'm going to save that for another day, but I really think that's an important conversation for us to have. What I hope you can do now is really focus on being here in the present in your own story, exactly where you are. And I want to share with you that I am launching my very first book this September 2024, and it's called Living to Thrive, A Holistic Guide to Living with Cancer. And I talk about this whole idea of living in the present and how important that is for your mindset. So I'm going to link in the show notes how you can get your name on the pre-launch list for that book. It's coming really soon. It's so close and I'm so excited and I really, really want to share it with you. So just get your name on the list, head down to the show notes or go to katherinewhite.coach and you'll see it on my website and you can get your name on the list and I'll let you know what's coming and when it's coming. Anyway, enough about that. I want to share with you personal stories of how I got on the path to thriving. What I do when I feel like I'm struggling, because like you, I still have those days. And I want to give you real examples of the tools that I've learned and that I use in my life. I do that in the book, but I do that also here on the podcast because I feel like maybe you just need to hear it in multiple places. Like sometimes you need to hear the message, see the message, and hear it over and over that you can do this and that there are tools and strategies that you can bring into your life right now that are going to help you to keep moving forward. Because like I said, everyone's cancer story is different. But you can bring in what feels right for you, what's comfortable for you, what works with whatever your medical situation is in the moment. And all of that is designed to help make your story just a little bit easier. So I'm here to share what has taken me years to learn in each of these episodes in the hope that you can have access to the tools and beliefs that I've created sooner than I did. So my lessons that I'm sharing with you over this season and that have shown up in previous seasons are really all around the following. For me, as I've been reflecting over the summer and writing this book and getting ready to speak at some events over the course of the fall, I've really dialed it down to it is about the body and the mind and the spirit. And that's sort of the anchor of the work that I do and the life that I live. But even on a deeper level than that, it's about self-love, self-care, and self-belief. Like I said, I talk a lot about the body and the mind and the spirit because those are important parts of living to thrive. But under those three parts of you, I've really discovered this piece. As I said, reflecting over it this summer, I've really discovered this piece that moving from survivor to thriver requires you to have self-love, to practice self-care, and to believe so much in yourself. So those three pieces, when you bring them all together, create that support inside of you that will allow you to nurture your body, mind, and spirit. And that is what is going to set you on the path to thriving. So there you have it. It's just a nice short little intro to season 4, the beginning of a new season of the Living to Thrive with Cancer podcast. Just a reminder that this is an every other week podcast. So on the off weeks, I have started a blog, and you can find that on my website. You can also find it on Pinterest. I have my own Pinterest page now, and you can find information that I'm sharing over there. So one week's going to be a podcast episode, and the next week is going to be a blog week episode. So just make sure again that you are following and subscribing the podcast so that it drops into your mailbox. Get signed up for those weekly emails that are going to come out that either related to the podcast or to the blog or to any other things that I feel are important for you to know. I feel like there's so many great things coming up that I will share with you over these next few weeks and these months. Some, like I said, are live events or virtual events, so you can keep an eye out for that. If you live in the local area, perhaps you can attend and I can meet you in person. If you are living far away from me, you can always come to the virtual events. There's going to be some really great speakers on the ones that I'm attending. And I'll share that information with you when you get on my email list. And there are some changes in my coaching offers. Again, over the summer, I've really had a great chance to reflect. So I will be sharing those with you in upcoming episodes. But before I leave, I just want to remind you that I am releasing my first book, Living to Thrive, A Holistic Guide to Living with Cancer, and it is full of anecdotes from my own walk with cancer and things that I think will help you to navigate the path from survivor to thriver. All right, friends, again, if you've enjoyed this or other episodes, I'd appreciate it if you would leave a review wherever you're listening. That helps me to reach more people. It kind of moves the podcast up on the list so that other people can find it, because I think, as we all know, this walk with cancer can be lonely, and I really want to create a community of people who have somewhere to go, to listen and to learn, and possibly even to connect so that they can feel, so that you can feel like you're getting the support that you deserve. Thanks for being here today. Watch for the next episode that features a very special guest who shares her cancer story and what she's doing to help others and bring awareness to her very specific type of cancer. Have a great rest of the day. Thanks for being here.